everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hello. This is Essential Patience, and I am Patience. So in today's video, we are digging a little deeper because I really wanted to talk about a reflection topic, one that I think we don't talk about in adulting. But in today's topic, I really wanted it to just be a casual sit down and a reflection of what it means to be going from young adulthood to adulthood, especially if you are changing your environment, if you are moving away, what that means. It's called the scariest part about living alone. I've lived alone before, so right now I've been living alone for a while, and prior to this I lived alone for a few months, about 3 months when I did my internship. I've still spent a bigger portion of my life living with people and cohabitating with people, and this transition has been exciting, but it's been a little bit of fear as well. Now, of course, I'm more comfortable now. It's been a while. It's something that some people go through alone, and they are, I don't want to say ashamed, but they don't know if everybody else is going through it the same way that they are. Because moving out to get your first apartment, like, it's exciting and you should be happy. It's like you should be grateful, and of course you are. And it's a new elevation in life. A lot of times it's coming with a new job, a new city, but you're still living alone, and it's still a lonelier process than you're used to, and it takes a while to really get up to speed with being okay with that, finding friends and building new families around you, and having that support system. So before we get into it, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's just get into it. What are the scariest parts about living alone? So one of the first things is just making every single decision by yourself. Now, if you go from a place where a lot of people are making decisions for you, sometimes not even like with your consent, or you just don't have to make a decision all by yourself, but you have to like bounce it off of people, and more and more people have their opinions. You feel like you're decisive and you're making a decision for you. You want that independence, but even when you get it, sometimes it's a little scary because you're not sure. I mean, I was like 21 years old starting out, and like now I get to make every single decision by myself. In theory, when you're younger, it's like yay, but when you're a young adult, it's like, do I know this? Do I know enough? Is this good enough? Are you like doubting yourself, double checking yourself? You want to bounce off ideas of people, but then you want to be a young adult who's independent. It's a little scary too, because you don't want to make the wrong decision. You don't know everything, which you get to know really quickly. And we don't get to enjoy just the not knowing of it all, because sometimes there's consequences to those decisions, and other times you put that burden of huge consequences to it. I think sometimes when you look at it from a different perspective, it's just a way to start validating your own opinions and not needing other people to have and make decisions for you, validate your decisions. Make your decisions, stand strong, and a lot of times it would be a good decision. And if not, reading is fundamental. Do research, have those research, those facts, those data, reputable data, validate your decision. Sometimes it's the not knowing that makes it scary. But once you know, once you are educated on that topic, you will be able to make better decisions without needing other people's validation. The second scary thing is that you don't really have a lot of people to keep you accountable. So if you live alone, who's going to keep you accountable? Who knows when you wake up at 7 a.m. or 10 a.m. I mean, maybe you have a job, so that's one thing. But it's really hard to keep yourself accountable when you're the only one. You're not disciplining yourself. You're not going to scream at yourself. I mean, internally, a lot of people treat themselves worse than other people even treat them. So it's very normal to have that feeling of disappointment in yourself, but nobody externally is holding you accountable in things that you do alone. So a lot of times you have a bad habit, or you're not going for your goals. There's nobody there day after day holding you accountable for your everyday habits, because a lot of people who see you, they're not seeing you on a daily basis. Maybe every few days, maybe on specific days, and so that accountability is not there. It feels really scary, like, well, how do I know what I'm doing wrong? Who's gonna tell me this? Who's gonna tell me that? But we have to come to that point where we hold ourselves accountable and know that us holding ourselves accountable is just as important as somebody else doing it for you. Third thing, of course, is loneliness and isolation. And this comes with moving, especially if you're moving out of your town, out of your city, and especially your state. And for me, moving all the way from Maryland to Texas was such a big transition. So if I want to see anybody from Maryland, I have to get on a plane for a minimum of 3+ hours to even make it there. So of course, it's not somewhere that I go often. When you move so far away, isolation and loneliness comes. And I'll be honest, when I first moved, like first 2 months, it was very, very hard because I did not know anybody in Texas. And you have to make that extra effort because loneliness comes with the territory of moving out, especially moving far away. But you have to make that extra effort and decide on that extra effort to socialize. The biggest thing for me was my church. For my job, I only went in like twice a week. And then for a long time, I worked fully remote for several months. And so if I wanted to socialize, it was definitely my church. And I've been able to find friends and family there that has been very welcoming. And you get to find people, but you have to make it. You can't just stay inside all day, every single day, and expect socialization to come to you. And you have to pick good places to socialize. That's an embodiment of who you are and who you want to be. So choosing the right places that would add to your life, add value to who you are and the betterment of who you want to be, rather than making the decision of choosing places that are not great for you to socialize. The fourth thing is safety concerns. Like, I'll be honest, I'm one of those people who is like always safety, safety, safety first. And I always think, oh my God, did I lock my apartment? Did I lock my car? Did I lock this? And you have to end up trusting yourself, but also taking those extra steps to make sure that you are safe in an environment. You are being careful with who you hang out with. That is very important. Who you invite into your home, who you are going out with, making sure that you are taking those steps to tell people, hey, I'm going here. Like making sure that your family who is even far away know your schedule, because safety is big, big, big. Keeping in touch with people so that they know what's going on with you, because God forbid something happens and you need help. Well, we've not heard from her in a few days, but that's typically who she is. She doesn't call anybody for like months at a time. And then she finally calls. Like, how are we supposed to know something was not normal? So when you're calling people and keeping contact with people on the daily, weekly, then you all of a sudden don't do it. It's like, okay, like something is not normal here. Of course, we always pray for the best, but you plan for the worst as well, because you never ever know what's happening. And when you live alone, when you're in a new city, new town, new state, taking safety concerns seriously is imperative. It is so important. And doing everything that you can, whether it's getting security cameras, pepper spray, not staying out too late, putting in steps where you can keep yourself safe. The fifth one is taking on the full financial burden all by yourself. Now, I talk a lot of finances on my channel, and one of the reasons why I'm so into finance is when you move out alone, you're taking on full responsibility for yourself. You are in this for yourself. There's nobody else just splitting bills. Well, if you have roommates, it's one thing. But a lot of times if your roommates are not your friends, and even if they are your friends, your financial responsibility is to yourself. You're taking care of yourself. If you're a fully self-sufficient adult, you would be responsible for taking care of yourself. So if you're short this month on rent, it's like, well, what am I gonna do? And that's why for me, always talking about emergency funds for retirement, saving up for things, and having goals, financial goals, and having budgets so they stick to those budgets is really important. When I talk about all those things, because it's realistic to take care of yourself and to ensure that whatever is going on in your future, it doesn't disrupt so much. Whatever comes along that is an emergency, that was unforeseen, was not planned, doesn't disrupt your entire life. And that's why emergency funds are so important. But overall, taking on that entire financial burden on your own, it's a shock at first, but if you plan for it, it's not that bad. And you just have to keep going with the mindset of like, this is who I am. I'm self-sufficient, relying on yourself and yourself solely. Number 7 is decision fatigue. So I talked a little bit about making decisions in the past. I'm just talking mainly about even just the goals that you have in life, and the decision fatigue in when you don't have somebody validating every single decision that you make. It's really, really a scary thing, because you don't know everything. You're young, I'm young, But even when you know the facts, even when you're educated on the topic, a lot of us still struggle with decision fatigue, and it's very normal. It's something that you get more and more comfortable with as time goes by. So I just want to give hope that if you're a person who's struggling with decision making, decision fatigue, you're just like all over the place with it, it's okay. As time goes on, it's gonna get better, and you're gonna be more confident in your decisions, and you should practice making decisions and being okay with it. Number 8 is feeling emotionally overwhelmed or exhausted, because if you have a bad day and you're living alone, you come home and you basically sunk in your horrible day. There isn't a person to ask you, well, how are you doing? Well, unless you call somebody calls you, you're not immediately just telling somebody. And it's just something about somebody seeing you and knowing your face and just knowing that something is wrong, and just giving you a hug, comforting you. That is very different when you live alone. And sometimes you don't feel the need to call people and burden them with your problems, because everybody got problems in this world. And so I feel like that's something that if you keep it to yourself always and you don't share your story, sometimes you just need to talk over it. And I'm sure if you have good friends and family members, you would always hear them out. They would hear you out as well, letting them know what's going on. We're not meant to go through this world entirely by ourselves. There's always somebody there who's happy to listen, and sometimes that's all you need, an ear to listen to you, and that would make a huge difference. It's just something that doesn't come natural when you live alone. Nobody's really there physically, but there will be people who are there who care about you. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why people who get into isolation and move away sometimes become depressed, and things happen in their life and nobody knows what's going on. So also just reach out to your friends, always make sure you reach out. I try to do that. Keep in contact. That's always nice. Just keep in contact with people. Number 9, it's gonna get dark real quick, which is medical emergencies. I don't know if anybody has ever thought about this, especially if you're a person who watch shows or crime. You're watching TV, somebody slip and fall in the shower, or you hear of somebody who lived alone, something happened to them, and there was nobody to call the police. There's nobody to call for an ambulance. There's nobody to help them up. And I always think about that. I'm God forbid that happens. Well, then who knows? It will take a while for people to even get to know you're in trouble and you need help. Now, of course, that's very unlikely in the grand scheme of things. But it is important to note that statistically speaking, you're more likely to get help. A lot of times when people have heart attacks in their sleep, or they're going through stuff in their sleep and they have a spouse, that person's there to call 911. They get them the medical help they need immediately, versus people who live alone who don't have anybody to do that for them. That's a morbid thought. You're unwell and nobody knows. There's nobody else there to take care of you or call for help for you. And that's just a really scary thought. It's a reality. It's happened before and you never know. Last but absolutely not the least is that you have to get your life together. You have to grow up very, very fast. That is a good thing for most of us. I really believe that it's an opportunity that once you get and you do it well, it follows you for the rest of your life. And for me, having to grow up so fast, I feel like it's made me be more self-reflective. For example, this video, it's just helped me to reflect more on what's important in life. Growing up to really appreciate the little things in life, but also have goals, have a vision of where I want to see my life, determine who I want to be. If you are going to live alone, just know that you're gonna grow up fast, especially if you're moving away from the comfort zone. You are going to grow up fast because life is gonna demand that out of you. If you're able to do that, it's experience that would really carry on for the rest of your life. I'm only 22, so I don't know the rest of my life. I see the direction, the trajectory it's taking me in, and I really like it. It's helped me to take hold of my life and know that God is with me, and it's made me stronger in my faith. It's made me want to be the best version of who I want to be. It's put me in a positive environment where I know that I can create the environment that I want to live in, grateful for what I have. So overall, even though it's scary to live alone, there are also a lot of positives that come along, and growing up fast is a positive in a lot of ways. It can be shaky, it's not smooth, it's jarring, but overall, it's great. So thank you all so much for watching. I know this video can be a little depressing, but I really just wanted to reflect on it and let people who are moving out alone, who just moved out and it's wow, this is a change. It's not what I thought it was gonna be. Just know that there's a lot of things that you can do to really help. And one of for me was this YouTube channel. Like that was something that I picked up once I started living alone. It's been a positive. It's been a positive. Finding new hobbies, being intentional, making your own decisions. Those things can be a positive. It just depends on how you look at it and how you use that to better your life. With that, I'm bringing this video to an end. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section, what was your scariest part of living alone? Or if you're going to live alone, what do you fear the most, so that we can all share in the comment section, you know, give you some words of encouragement to really believe that part, because it's the start of a new journey and it's going to go well if you have a positive mindset. And remember to ring the notification bell, because I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Come on over, because these conversations are getting really great. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.